Welcome to the era of algorithmic job hunting, where getting hired at Google depends less on your coding skills and more on your ability to game the system. Meet Roy Lee, a 21-year-old Columbia student who built an AI tool that helped him land offers from Amazon, Meta, and TikTok, then got expelled when he bragged about it online. We're talking about a booming underground economy of AI cheating tools with names like LeetCode Wizard and Shadow Helper, charging $60 a month to help you fool tech recruiters. Companies are so spooked they're considering abandoning remote interviews entirely. Today, we dive into the wild west of AI-powered interview fraud, where coding bootcamps have been replaced by cheating bootcamps, and the line between using available tools and outright deception has completely disappeared.
I spent 8 months grinding LeetCode problems, memorizing algorithms I'd never use in my actual job. Then I found out half the people getting hired were using AI assistants during their interviews. The whole system is completely broken. I'm watching 22-year-olds with 6 months of experience get senior roles at Meta because they know how to prompt ChatGPT better than I know data structures. It's not about programming anymore, it's about who can cheat more effectively.
What we're witnessing is the complete collapse of technical hiring as we know it. These AI tools have become so sophisticated that they can solve any LeetCode problem in seconds while remaining completely undetectable to standard monitoring software. I've analyzed dozens of these platforms. They use everything from hidden browser windows to secondary devices to natural language processing that makes AI-generated responses sound human. The candidates using them are passing interviews at rates 300% higher than those who don't.
Last month, I interviewed 12 candidates for a senior developer role. By the third interview, I started recognizing the pattern, perfect solutions appearing instantly, candidates saying while waiting for their AI to process questions, responses that sounded like they were reading from a script. I reported it to leadership and got told to focus on culture fit instead. Companies know it's happening, but they're terrified to admit their entire hiring process has been compromised.
Dr. Kim, let's start with the obvious question. How exactly do these AI cheating tools work?
They're essentially invisible AI assistants that run parallel to your interview. Tools like LeetCode Wizard and Interview Coder take screenshots of coding problems, process them through large language models, and display solutions in hidden windows that screen-sharing software can't detect. The more advanced ones even analyze the interviewer's voice patterns and suggest natural-sounding responses. Some tools move the answer window around your screen, so your eye movements look natural. It's like having a genius programmer whispering in your ear, except the genius is an AI trained on millions of coding problems.
The sophistication is insane. I know someone who used Final Round AI. It listens to interview questions in real time and feeds you talking points through a hidden interface. During technical questions, it literally solves the problem and explains the approach while you're supposed to be thinking. The AI even tells you when to pause and say things like, "Let me think about this," to make it look natural. You're basically acting out a performance where the AI is both your co-star and your script.
What's disturbing is how normalized it's become. I had candidates openly ask if they could use AI assistants during interviews, like it was equivalent to using a calculator. When I explained our no AI policy, they'd act confused, but I use GitHub Copilot at work every day. The line between legitimate tools and outright cheating has completely blurred for an entire generation of developers.
Marcus, tell us about Roy Lee's story, the Columbia student who turned this into a viral business.
Roy's story is peak Gen Z rebellion. He spent 600 hours grinding LeetCode problems, got miserable, and decided to build Interview Coder as a middle finger to the entire system. The tool helped him get offers from Amazon, Meta, TikTok, and Capital One. But instead of quietly taking the job, he posted a YouTube video of himself using it during an Amazon interview. The video went viral, Amazon tried to scrub it from the internet, and someone tattled to Columbia. The university expelled him, but by then he'd already raised $5.3 million in funding and was making $170,000 a month in subscriptions.
Roy's case perfectly illustrates the generational divide. He genuinely doesn't see it as cheating. In his mind, he's using available technology to solve a problem, just like using a calculator or spell check. His manifesto literally compares Interview Coder to those tools, arguing that resistance to AI assistance is just technological conservatism. He views LeetCode interviews as an outdated hazing ritual that has nothing to do with actual programming work.
The business model is what really gets me. Roy and companies like LeetCode Wizard are profiting from the dysfunction in our hiring process. LeetCode Wizard charges $53 a month and claims over 16,000 users with several hundred confirmed job offers. These aren't just desperate job seekers. I'm hearing about senior engineers with 25 years of experience using these tools because the interview process has become so detached from real work that even experts can't pass without gaming the system.
Alina, how are companies responding to this epidemic?
It's complete chaos. Google CEO Sundar Pichai suggested returning to in-person interviews during a company town hall. Amazon now requires candidates to sign agreements promising not to use unauthorized tools. Deloitte brought back in-person interviews for their UK graduate program. Anthropic explicitly prohibits AI-assisted applications. But here's the thing, these responses are reactive and inconsistent. Some teams within the same company have completely different policies.
The technical countermeasures are laughably inadequate. Companies are trying to detect AI usage by monitoring for things like perfect code, appearing too quickly, or candidates looking off screen. But the cheating tools are already several steps ahead. Shadow Helper runs as an undetectable background process triggered by keyboard shortcuts. Some tools use secondary devices. Your phone or tablet displays the answers while your main screen looks completely normal. Others use sophisticated humanizers that add natural typos and hesitation to AI-generated code.
I love that companies are acting shocked about this. They created a system where getting hired depends on memorizing obscure algorithms that you'll never use in the actual job, then act surprised when people find ways to game it. One study found that 80% of candidates are using AI on coding tests despite being explicitly told not to. At this point, the honest candidates are at a massive disadvantage.
Dr. Kim, what's the most sophisticated cheating attempt you've encountered?
I analyzed one platform that not only solves coding problems, but also provides multiple solution approaches ranked by complexity, so candidates can choose one that matches their supposed skill level. It even includes fake, thinking out loud scripts, natural-sounding commentary that makes it look like you're working through the problem in real time. The AI literally teaches you how to perform the role of someone solving a problem they've already solved for you.
I caught someone using what I later learned was a human mimicry tool. The candidate would start typing code, pause naturally, delete some lines, retype with slight variations. It looked exactly like genuine problem solving. Only when I asked them to explain their approach did it become obvious they had no idea how their own solution worked. They'd memorized the performance but not the understanding.
The ecosystem has gotten so sophisticated that there are now AI interview coaches charging $200 to teach you how to use AI tools effectively during interviews. They train you on things like speaking 20% slower to give the AI time to process, using exactly 3 hand gestures per answer, and wearing specific colors that supposedly improve AI accuracy. It's like preparing for a very weird theater performance where your co-star is a machine.
What's the human cost of all this technological deception?
We're creating a generation of developers who are excellent at prompting AI but terrible at actual problem solving. I've hired people who seemed brilliant in interviews but couldn't debug a simple issue without AI assistance. On the flip side, we're probably rejecting talented developers who just refuse to cheat or don't know these tools exist. The whole process has become about gaming the system rather than identifying genuine ability.
The broader impact is the complete erosion of trust in remote hiring. Companies are spending millions on anti-cheat technology and interview proctoring instead of fixing the fundamental problem, that their interview process tests the wrong things. We're in an arms race between cheating tools and detection systems, while the actual goal of finding good employees gets lost in the technological noise.
It's also creating massive inequality. These tools cost money. LeetCode Wizard is $53 a month. Interview Coder was $60. Candidates who can afford the premium cheating software have a huge advantage over those who can't. We've literally created a pay-to-win system for job interviews. The rich get richer and the honest get filtered out.
Elena, is there any way to fix this mess?
Some companies are starting to embrace AI usage rather than fight it. They're redesigning interviews to test AI proficiency alongside coding skills. Can you use these tools effectively? Can you verify and debug AI-generated code? It's a more realistic approach since that's how development actually works now, but it requires completely rethinking what we're testing for.
The fundamental issue is that LeetCode-style interviews were always a poor proxy for job performance. They test algorithm memorization, not software engineering skills. AI has just exposed how disconnected our hiring process is from actual work. The solution isn't better cheat detection. It's better interviews that test things AI can't fake, like system design thinking, code review skills, and collaborative problem solving.
I'm actually optimistic that this crisis will force companies to adopt more humane interview processes. When your traditional method gets completely compromised, you have to innovate. Some companies are moving toward pair programming sessions, take-home projects with follow-up discussions, and portfolio reviews. These approaches are harder to game and more representative of real work.
Looking ahead, where does this technological arms race end?
I think we're approaching a tipping point where the cost of fighting AI cheating exceeds the cost of redesigning interviews entirely. The smart companies will stop trying to prevent AI usage and start incorporating it into their evaluation process. The stubborn ones will keep playing whack-a-mole with increasingly sophisticated cheating tools until they realize they're testing the wrong things.
Regulation is coming. The EU is already looking at algorithmic hiring practices, and the US will follow. Companies that can't prove their interview processes are fair and effective will face legal challenges. The first major lawsuit against discriminatory interview AI will probably happen this year, and it's going to be expensive for everyone involved.
Roy Lee might be the hero we needed. By making AI cheating so visible and profitable, he's forced the entire industry to confront the absurdity of our hiring process. Sometimes you need someone willing to burn down the system to build something better. Whether you think he's a villain or a visionary, he's definitely started a conversation that was long overdue.
Marcus, Dr. Kim, Alina, thank you for this eye-opening exploration of how AI has turned tech hiring into a high-stakes game of digital deception. You've shown us a world where getting a job depends more on your ability to prompt AI than write code, where a 21-year-old's rebellion becomes a multi-million-dollar business, and where companies are so spooked by cheating that they're abandoning the remote work revolution. The story of Roy Lee and the AI interview cheating epidemic perfectly captures what happens when technological capability outpaces institutional wisdom. We've created a system where success depends on gaming algorithms rather than demonstrating skill, where honesty is a competitive disadvantage, and where the tools meant to democratize opportunity have created new forms of inequality. This episode was brought to you by Unstruct AI, where we explore how systems designed to optimize efficiency often optimize the wrong things entirely. The FANG interview process was supposed to identify the best programmers, but instead it created a shadow economy of AI-powered deception. When your hiring process can be gamed by a tool that costs less than a Netflix subscription, maybe the problem isn't the tool, it's the process.